Hi, my name is Katie Clancy and I'm an occupational therapist in Children and Young People's Services in NHS Lanarkshire. This video is going to be about teaching your child to fasten and unfasten buttons. Here are some tips for teaching buttons. Start with large chunky buttons, such as on a coat, before moving on to smaller buttons, such as on a shirt. Children often learn to take off clothes before they learn to put them on. So start with teaching to unfasten buttons before you teach fastening buttons. Give your child opportunities to practice every day. It can be very tempting to do it for them for quickness, so you could practice outside of dressing times, for example in the afternoon or at the weekend, rather than when you're trying to get them to school or nursery in a hurry. You could even practice using button-up pyjamas. Allow the child to dress in front of a mirror so that if they make a mistake, for example mismatching the buttonholes, then they can see it more easily. Don't worry too much about the top button on a shirt or a polo shirt. This hole is turned a different way and is more difficult. Your child will become able to do this in their own time. Sometimes children find it easier to learn to button when the garment is laid out on a table in front of them. This means that they can see what they're doing more easily. Once they have mastered buttons this way, then they can try them when wearing the garment. Give hand-over-hand assistance to begin with and split the task into chunks. Give clear instructions and a demonstration. It's easier to learn to unbutton, so we'll start with this. Use your thumb and finger to pinch the material with one hand and the button with the other. Pull the material slightly so that you can see the buttonhole. Push the button down through the hole. To fasten a button, pinch the material and the button again, but remember that they're on opposite sides this time. Turn the material over a bit so that you can see the buttonhole. Push the button through the hole. Holding onto the button, have a peek to check that the button is poking through the other side. If it is, pinch it with your other hand and pull it all the way through the hole. Here are some ideas to make clothing with buttons easier to manage while your child is still learning. Choose trousers or skirts with an elastic waist if buttons are still tricky, so that your child doesn't have to ask for help each time they go to the toilet. Replace the thread holding the button onto clothes with elastic, so that clothes such as shirts can easily be pulled over the head. Buttons sewn on with elastic also allows the child to pull the button further out. This might be easier as the button isn't so tight against the material and they can adopt a better grasp. You could also use velcro to fasten the shirt.